When Animals Dream is a 2014 Danish film directed by Jonas Alexander Arnby. It stars Sonia Suhl and Lars Mikkelsen, brother of Mads. Suhl plays a 16-year-old girl who is a bit of an outcast in her hometown, as is her mother, although her mother is seriously ill, in a wheelchair and spending most of her days just staring off into space. But as I say, both of these are somewhat outcasts, but we don't quite know why. We learn very quickly, very early on in the film, that there is something very different about both mother and daughter. Daughter starts to develop these kind of furry patches on herself, and yes, starts to become a little bit violent. We soon start to put the pieces together and figure that yes, what we're watching here is a werewolf film. But it's not just a werewolf film, it's a drama. It's something of a social drama, I think. It's all about alienation, it's all about people who are ostracised, and we see that through the eyes, like I say, of this girl, but her family, her father as well. Her father tries to protect her, tries to shield her from the people in the town by essentially trying to cover up her condition, and by covering up her mum's condition as well. He seems to get help from this doctor who knows what's going on but seems to be on their side, seems to be helping them keep it a secret. This is a very low-key film. It's what you call a slow burn film. It's the very definition of a slow burn film. Some people actually might prefer to call that dull. But I think if you come into this film with an open mind, there's some rewards here to be found, I think. I don't think it's going to blow anyone away. It's not, it's not the best werewolf film I've ever seen, but it is interesting. It kept me intrigued throughout. I think it's beautifully shot. It's definitely something of an art house film. It's got that kind of vibe about it. It's a lot of handheld camera, a lot of kind of kitchen sink type drama performances, the very mumblecore type stuff, not a lot of dialogue. Many scenes play out with just people kind of staring at each other across tables and things like that. So yeah, like I say, not for everyone, more your art house crowd. Now the film is billed as a horror thriller, but I think it works more so in the thriller element and less so in the horror element. Now, when Marie, the character played by Suhl, goes full-on werewolf, those elements aren't quite handled particularly well, I don't think. I don't think they have the budget to do that, to be honest. So when we see her kind of ripping people to shreds, doing what a werewolf does, it doesn't look entirely convincing, and it's not particularly scary or gory either, for that matter. There are other moments, like when we see her changing, we kind of see the hairs on her back kind of growing. It does kind of get under the skin. It does make me go, ugh, that's quite disgusting. So yeah, there's moments like that I think they handle pretty well given their budget, but then also because of the budget, other moments suffer, particularly the full-on kind of slashery elements of it, the more typical werewolf elements. I think Suhl does a very good job of capturing the experience of this woman, this young woman who feels ostracised from her community. You do feel for her, and even when she starts to become a little bit more violent, even towards her mother at one point, you still sympathise with her. You're still kind of on her side. Lars Mikkelsen is good in this film as the father. I think he does a very good job of making you sympathise with a man who's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's doing everything he can to hide his wife's condition and the onset of the same condition in his daughter, because he knows the pain that it can bring to them. He loves them, but he has to shield them to the point of, allowing his daughter to be ostracised. So that's a difficult spot for him to be in. You can tell he's a loving father, but he's having to do things that maybe aren't the best things to do. There are some characters that do feel a little bit one note. There's a character called Espen, and he's basically the playground bully. Marie goes to this job. She works kind of cutting up fish and whatnot. He's just clearly the playground bully who never grew up and has taken that mentality into the into the work life with him. Yeah, he feels a bit one note, although there are moments throughout the film when he does kind of corner Marie with the help of a friend of his, and you do feel for her in those moments, and it does make me angry. I mean, I hate bullies anyway. I hate bullying, so when I see those scenes, yeah, they make me angry, which is appropriate. I think that's what they're designed to do. But it also sets up the fact that you want this guy to die. You know, you want her to go full on werewolf and kill him. So somewhat manipulative and, like I say, somewhat one note. I also don't fully buy a character called Daniel, played by Jakob Oftebro, if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't really buy that he would stay so attached to Marie. Maybe as a friend, but not as a lover, especially when she starts sprouting hair everywhere. I think that gets a little bit too much for me to believe in. I think you know, they want to paint this guy as the nicest guy you could hope to meet, and I'm just not sure that guy is out there. Not saying there aren't nice guys out there, but yeah, when your woman starts turning into a werewolf and growing hair in places that she shouldn't have hair, I'm not sure he'd be so understanding as he is in this film. If you like art house movies with a little bit of a horror thriller twist, then I think this film is worth checking out. I give it a 3 out of 5, but like I say, it does have some issues and it is very slow burn. So yeah, take that as you will. If you've seen this film, please do comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And tell me, what are some of your favourite werewolf movies? Till next time, crack in.